You know what? I have 13 Batman movies, or which include movies he has a cameo in, 13 Halloween movies. Shall we do a head to head? Franchises collide. Whom is going to win? Let's get started, shall we? With the original Batman 1966 movie. Highly enjoyable. Not to be taken too seriously, obviously. But when I watch Batman, I want to watch a darker version usually. But this definitely has its place and was, it made Batman popular in the 60s. It takes on the original Halloween, which is one of the greatest films ever made. So, gotta go with Halloween on this one. So, Halloween 1, Batman 0. Next up, we have Batman 1989, which in my opinion has the best live action Joker ever in Jack Nicholson, and my personal favourite Batman, Michael Keaton. It takes on the first sequel to Halloween, Halloween 2, which follows on directly, like literally, scene after the ending of Halloween 1978. Solid sequel, but Batman gets the win here. Round 3, Batman Returns takes on a cult classic, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which I think is still overrated, to be honest. It was underrated, and now it's overrated, in my humble opinion. But Tom Atkins is great in this. Very underrated actor. Batman Returns, though, I love this movie. This is everything I want a Batman movie to be like. So, Batman 2, Halloween 1. I'm not sure if this is the greatest idea, but round 4, Batman Forever, my first cinema experience when I was 7 back in 1995. I'm showing my age now. I'm 36 tomorrow, by the way. I can't believe I'm still talking about Batman films on video. Oh, it takes on. Oh, it's not going to win. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I love this movie. This Donald Pleasance is amazing in this film. As Dr. Loomis, hands down the best character in Halloween series. Michael Myers is not a character, not supposed to be a character. So for me, Dr. Loomis is the man. However, has a feel-good ending. Batman Forever. The first act is pretty horrible, but the second and third act are pretty solid. A fall from greatness, but you know what? It's still pretty good. But yeah, Halloween gets the win here. 2-2. Batman and Robin takes on. Wow, this is quite an appropriate collision here because this is when both franchises, particularly this one, start to really go downhill. But I can get Batman and Robin. It's not a good movie, but it's very colourful and I like to watch it, if that makes sense. Halloween 5 is a bad movie overall, 4 out of 10 at best. But it does contain some great Loomis, Michael, and Jamie Lloyd moments. So it does contain some great moments of the franchise. So I'm going to give this one the win. Now we're on to the serious dark films in regards to Batman. Batman Begins, and its opponent is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, which is one of the worst Halloween films out there. One of the best atmosphere Halloween films, but overall this is a mess. And this one, of course, rebooted Batman, and it made Batman good again. I'm dying to, you know what I'm dying to say. Try not to get political in this video, but yeah, it made Batman very good again. Fantastic. In my opinion, the best out of the trio of Nolan's films. So obviously it gets a win. This is kind of an awkward one for me because The Dark Knight is an epic movie, but I'd rather watch Halloween H2O 20 years later much more than this. Both 7 out of 10s in their own right, but for me, Halloween H2O, which is far superior to Halloween 2018 Kills and Ends, gets the win for me here. But this one, if you were getting an award for being the most epic, this one would get it. But overall, I prefer watching this one. This one zaps your energy, The Dark Knight. Moving on to the conclusion of Nolan's trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, which all starred Christian Bale. It takes on, it's going to win. It's definitely going to win because it takes on Halloween Resurrection. This one is the first Halloween film which sometimes I wish never existed. And Nolan really, obviously this film gets to win, but Nolan really made Batman feel epic again. Next up, we have the first of the DCEU, which I've purchased this year. It took me 7 years to get because I love it so much. It takes Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. It takes on Rob Zombie's Halloween, which I hated in the cinema at the time. But I've grown to not dislike it as much. This one, however, don't get it. They say Ben Affleck's one of the best Batman ever. I can't see it. I can see his potential to be one of the best ones, but the scripts he was given, the films he was given, he's a clown by the time of The Flash, his Batman. It's not very good, folks, I'm afraid. So Halloween gets the win here. Next is Suicide Squad versus Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. There is a joke in my head, but we're not going to go there. Halloween 2. I really dislike this movie, but I've kind of grown to kind of like it. I still find it torturous viewing, but I prefer it to Suicide Squad, which contains the worst live action Joker of all time. By the way, Margot Robbie is obviously in this movie as Harley Quinn, the first live action appearance of Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie was in Neighbours. I thought I'd mention that because I've watched the reboot of Neighbours. I set it up for my mum to watch, and I ended up watching it and enjoying it more than her. Still a 4 out of 10, the rebooted Neighbours. But yeah, Paul Robinson, played by Stefan Dennis, is still the greatest thing ever. I needed to get that Neighbours update out, since Halloween wins this round. You never know what I'm going to say in these videos, do you? Next up, see my Batman set feels complete now, but people say, "Oh, you've only got the theater cut. You haven't got the new cut, the director's cut of Justice League." And I say, well, I've no interest in watching a film for 4 hours. Never ever, never ever ever, ever. And that goes for a Halloween film that going for 4 hours. My goodness. Maybe one day, but for me, in my head, my set's complete. This is the theater cut of Justice League, which I hear is not as good as the 4. But end of the day, I'm not watching a 4-hour movie. It's just not happening. Anyway, this film, I was rooting for this movie in 2018. If you were watching me, which you probably weren't watching me in 2018 because nobody watches my videos, I was really rooting this to be the best Halloween film since the original. It's not. Justice League, I really was like, what am I doing with my life going to see this movie in the cinema? But however, when I rewatched it this year, when I finally purchased it, I actually had a good time at parts with the Justice League. I like that it's more colourful than the previous entries. And I thought it was a fine balance. And I really like Henry Cavill. I'm not good about actors' names, folks. I really don't pay too much attention to Hollywood apart from the when it releases a nostalgia film from my childhood, whether that's Bond, Batman, or Halloween, or Terminator even, that's when I go in the cinema. I'm not really a big film fan. But anyways, I'm rambling on here. I found this extremely disappointing. It's way overrated, but it still beats Justice League. Even though I kind of enjoy it. Next up, we're getting towards the end. Oof. The Batman takes on Halloween Kills, which, controversial opinion, is my favorite of David Gordon Green's trilogy of films. The Batman, I would enjoy this a lot more if it was like an hour less. I've got a good line. I've got a good, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. The Batman. Why am I starting to sing? It beats Halloween Kills, if I'm being honest. Even though it's way, way too long, this one is fun to watch, but the acting in this movie is very, very brutal. It's like, by this point, it's became a joke. Even though I enjoy it, it's fun movie at times, especially when Michael Myers comes out of that burning home and takes on the firefighters. That is a brilliant, one of the best scenes in Halloween movie history. But it's got some really, really bad moments too. And we are at the end, literally the end for Halloween. Halloween ends as it takes on The Flash. And I know people will be saying, no, The Flash is not technically a Batman movie, but you know what? It's got 3 Batman in it, including the best one, Michael Keaton. It's got that surprise appearance by George Clooney at the end, which is arguably the best scene of the whole film. It's brilliant. In fact, arguably the best scene out of the whole DCEU. Who would have thought George Clooney would return as Bruce Wayne Batman? I didn't. And it also, references Adam West's Batman. So there's technically 4 Batman men in this movie. Then you've got Halloween. Oh my god, this movie. I've not rewatched this. Rewatched The Flash, which is, the best part about The Flash is Michael Keaton returns, and he's still the best Batman. But overall, this movie is not very good. Flash forward to the Batman scenes is my advice. Halloween ends, just fast forward to the credits. So I'm going to give The Flash a nod here. Both not that great. So there you have it. Halloween wins by 7 points to 6 in a head-to-head with Batman. This was a bit of fun, folks. Don't take this video too seriously, because I'm not. But I thought it'd be fun since I now have 13 Batman-related films and 13 Halloween films. They're 2 of my favorite franchises, along with James Bond, and I thought it'd be fun to do a head-to-head. Now, mathematically, however, Batman, if you add my film ratings to the Batman movies to my film ratings of the Halloween movies, Batman wins 71 to Halloween 66. So, in a way, overall, the Batman franchise is better than the Halloween franchise, mathematically at least. But head to head, Halloween wins.